every single reason for her trust issues is valid.
Exactly.
It's completely valid.
She's not wrong.
Yeah, and then the movie and the story keeps steering towards like Raya's wrong. Raya's wrong. Like, no, she's not. Like, she has every reason not to trust and she's doing the right thing by getting this shit together.
Yeah.
She's the one with the right goal, but it was like, no, we need to show grace to the...
In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Genius Brain Podcast. We have our returning co-host, Ed Park, in the house today.
Up? How's it going?
Life is in... Do you know what I found out? That kind of... I feel like everybody knows about this character except for me. Okay. But there's like a new Korean Marvel superhero. Have you heard of this guy?
Is it Amadeus Cho?
No, not Amadeus Cho. It's this guy. He's like, his name is Taegukgi.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's the worst costume.
The worst fucking costume.
All white. It's like, man, you better make sure your asshole's clean. You're gonna get this brown smudge in the back. Dude, yeah, I was just like, damn.
He looks like he's going to, like, he's like a pastor at a funeral or something. like a Korean funeral. What the fuck is that?
I had no idea.
I saw this. I was just perusing the other day because I was looking at the back history of Amadeus Cho and why he's somehow the Hulk or whatever. Yeah. And then there was this article about, Asians rejoice because we have a new superhero in town. And it was
straight.
This whole thing. Yeah. Taegukgi.
I mean, are you trying to sell comic books in Korea, like just South Korea, or like so that all American, or like even us, like understand this guy? But Taegukgi means what? Flag?
Yeah.
So you're wearing your flag as a costume, like, okay.
Dude, and even on top of that, like if you're not Korean, it just sounds like his name is the Gookie.
Yeah.
I was like, yo.
Yeah.
What the fuck? This didn't go by anybody.
They call him Thai Gookie.
Yeah. I was like, who the fuck is the Gookie? Yeah. Dude. It pissed me off. I'm like, who the fuck is this guy?
It's way more over the top than Captain America's costume. Even the new Captain America, how the Falcon is Captain, and his costume's pretty bright, right?
Yeah.
It's really white. Dude, Taegukgi's costume is like worse.
It's ridiculous,
yeah.
Dude.
It's just all white from your head to your toes, well, your neck to your toes. It's just white. It's blank. I'm sure it's really easy to draw. But
I don't even know what his superpowers are. I just stopped at the name. Because I don't know what the fuck anybody was thinking. Why would you call him Taegukgi?
You just kind of get this, like I've lost all interest in it. It's like he can only ever remember like his pain from the Korean War. He fucking hates the Japanese.
He defeats everybody with negative reinforcement.
Yeah. He's a hyper capitalist. I mean, what about him? He's like so Korean.
He just beats everybody with a shinbai. Yeah,
he resents everybody. He's super fucking petty. He always gets revenge.
He only gets revenge. That's how he solves all of his problems. What the fuck is this? I don't know, man. Like,
so they're trying too hard, I guess. It's just the problem with when we talked about Mulan too, right? It's like when the credits roll, it's just all these white people, right? Besides the cast. Leading into the other movie I just saw, Raya, is like, what? Like, that's the other side of it though, right? It's like, let's take all of these 10 countries and mash them into just one culture kind of thing.
So this is the weird thing, right? So when I was watching, was it Raya and the Last Dragon? That's what it's called, right? Yeah. You know, before these films come out, and especially now with how the climate is, everybody is gunning for this multicultural thing. They're almost like shoving it in our face, right? Yeah. Which Raya was really cool when I was thinking about it conceptually, because it's, it's Southeast Asian. We haven't seen like this crazy high budget Southeast Asian animated film. Yeah. And there's so much stuff to kind of tackle, right? And I think what happens is with these films, and by the way, just to preface this, I fucking hated the movie.
Yeah, not fans.
Yeah, I know. No, again, a lot of people probably disagree with this. And one of the biggest things that I keep hearing from people is like, well, it was great to be represented. I'm just talking about this as a viewer, right? Yeah. Not as a film critic or whatever. It's just the film was trying to do too much in like an hour and a half, 2 hour film. It was way too much.
And that's another thing. Yeah. too much in too little time. It was over in a blink of an eye, I think, right? It was pretty short too, right?
What it really reminded me of was what's it called? Not the Zack Snyder cut. The what's his face?
Joss Whedon.
The Joss Whedon cut.
Right.
That's what the film reminded me of.
There's like spots missing. It's like there's so much exposition where they just talk whenever they're on the boat, right? Every time they got on the boat, I pulled up my phone. Not gonna lie, I just watched pimple popping videos. That's my guilty pleasure. But I was just like, I'd always lose my interest.
Yeah. So for people who watch this film, right, that's like my biggest issue with it was the fact that, number one, so let's just kind of bring up the premise of this film, right? There's who was the main character?
Raya.
Okay, it was Raya, right?
Yeah.
That's how much I hated the film. I watched it. I don't remember too much about it. But either way, Daniel Day Kim, his character looks just like Daniel Day Kim. They didn't even try. They're just like, this is just going to be Daniel Day Kim.
Shade darker because he's Southeast Asian. Like, okay.
So there was this crazy war that happened in the past, right? With these dragons, right? They're revered as the protector, and what they left behind is this remnants of this stone. Right, yes. Which is their last power, the last bit of their existence or whatever, right? Her father, their clan was in protection of this. There's a bunch of jealousy from other clans. Oh, why do you get to have the stone? Right. So they come in, they sabotage it. It breaks into a gajillion pieces, and everybody takes it back to their respective areas. Right. Yeah. This is already where the film was going to fail, because just like Joss Whedon's, not Avengers.
Let's just call it the Whedon cut.
We'll just call it the Whedon cut. Yeah. Right. There's too much shit to explain in this short period of time.
Right.
And so throughout this film, they're supposed to go ahead and travel to all these different countries and retrieve these stones, but they do it so half-assed because there's not enough time for us to care.
Right. So it's Sisu, the dragon, right? The fucking My Little Pony dragon. I thought it was a unicorn the whole time. All these dragons were like furries, man.
Yeah.
But dude, she came out of nowhere. Like Raya just finds a shipwreck, and this must be it for some fucking reason. Okay. Somehow she knows how to summon them. Does not explain, you know, and just all these factors. And then she just kind of comes up, right? She appears. But for some reason, this movie along the way really reminded me of Aladdin. But then the way and the timing that it took before Genie even showed up, like it was kind of like, what do you call it? It was thought through, till he came and he became a character into this whole thing, like changing Aladdin's life. But with Sisu, she just kind of shows up, right? In the first 15 minutes, right? There was like no effort, no like work, no, the adventure even getting into it. Like she was like, this is the last river. For me, that sounds like that's the end of the movie, but it's the beginning, right? Yeah. So where do they find him at the tail, right? The tail clan area, and comes up, and then they just get that for, I don't know. It just kind of happens as it goes, and you don't really get to know people. It's just they're just there.
It just is what it is. You know what the weirdest character was out of nowhere? Was that fucking baby?
The baby.
What the fuck was that?
And that's what I was like. I swear that was just a reincarnation of Apu into like 4 monkeys.
One of the things that I hate that films do a lot, it's almost like people create characters because they know that this is going to be a goofy character that people are going to talk about, but they don't do any story building for that character at all. This baby just shows up and starts fucking people up. Right. And on top of that, it's a terrible human being, by the way, just stealing people's shit.
Fucking crazy.
Right.
And like even Sisu was just like, didn't have the charm of Genie.
Yeah.
I was getting kind of fucking annoyed, man. I was like, you don't know shit, dude.
Literally knows nothing.
Yeah. And super naive about trust. Like, so the over-encompassing moral is trust, right? The beginning of it, Raya's trauma, let's say, is that she trusts this girl and straight up literally kicked her in the back, and then for me, like, it's like, okay, you idiot. Like as she was taking her there, it was already like, this is a dumb, but okay, this is kind of how she learns not to trust people. Her dad gets a spear to the leg and can't walk at all. Yeah. or jump over a bridge into safe water, right? Because they don't like water. But he's like, no, you go, and then I'll die.
Yeah.
Like, And so you kind of understand, oh, she has this trauma with trust now. She can't trust like her father did because he was wrong, right? And what works at least is that every character she meets from different clans that joins her team share the same trauma. Their loved ones are stone now, right? And they have a hard time trusting. But for some reason, so because of their shared trauma, they learn to trust each other. Yeah. Right? The one person being the antagonist girl with the buzz cut. Like, she still has she's just not trustable, right? You just can't trust her, except Sisu keeps saying, yeah, you just have to buy them a gift, right? Yeah. You go to that fucking water town and she trusts this old lady and she puts her behind these gate walls to die, right? Yeah. And for some reason, she's like, no, we still have to get this girl a gift. It will work. Like, clearly it doesn't. Yeah. It has a very distorted view of like what trust is and what trust issues exactly, like how it affects people. And who's watching this? Young kids? Yeah. You're just telling them, yeah, go ahead and trust Bill Cosby. Yeah.
You know what was really funny that wasn't even explained was the fact when whatever these demons or whatever that comes through these shadows, right?
Where they come from?
Where the fuck are they? Yeah. What is this?
It's just like this emerging threat, but then like, is that like the biggest thing? Like, where do they come from?
Yeah. I don't even know what they are. And then on top of that, when for some reason in the beginning of the film, everybody else who gets frozen and turned to stone, it looks like they're begging for money. But then for some reason at the end, they were allowed to stay in their stance when they were touching each other as friends, but they weren't doing this. I was like, well, how come they don't get to do that?
It's so heartfelt, you know? because they trust each other.
There was weird like continuity issues. You know what the funniest fucking thing was too? Yeah. And I started busting out laughing was when Sisu, she was like, hey, you have the power. This is what it is. And they gave it to her. And this is before they turned to stone. Why the fuck did she do anything? Yeah. She just waited for them to turn into stone. And then she fucking destroyed them. I'm like, yo, wait, hold on a second. You had the ability to stop them and you just watched them die. And then you went, now it's time.
Right. That the biggest issue with that is like, you didn't even earn this like unsolicited trust. Like at every step of the way, by the way, you fucking like tricked all these motherfuckers. And like, what is it about? You fucking killed the dragon too. Yeah. You don't deserve shit. Yeah. And it's like the idea is, oh, when they go low, we go high. It's like, good luck, sucker. Like you just have to hope for an altruism, like that she's going to make the right choice.
These weird morality issues were so prevalent throughout the film. It was very just confusing, especially if this is supposed to be a kid's film, right? Yeah. One of the things that I had that I really disliked was the antagonist. I forgot her name.
Like Nara or something. Narumi or something.
Okay, like her, the antagonist, right? So towards the end of the film, Sisu is like, you know, she was supposed to trust them. And this is the point where she ambushes everybody saying that I got to go ahead and do my shit or whatever, right? And then once again, it goes into trust. Like you just have to trust her. For no fucking reason why, but you just have to, right? Even though she's consistently proven she's a piece of shit.
Yeah. Right? Everyone's a piece of shit. Yeah.
Everybody is trash. And then towards the end, so obviously, I don't know, they're trying to show that she would have done something right, but nobody really fucking knows, right? It fucks everything up. Everything gets fucked up. It gets broken. The shard pieces or whatever. Yeah. The evil specters start to come. But towards the end of the film, for some reason, this piece of shit thinks that she has the moral standing to lecture the hero of the story. Saying, this would have never happened if you only trusted me. Right. Who the fuck are you?
Yeah. What have you done, you entitled bitch, to earn anybody's trust?
Where does she get to, where does that was the weirdest part for me. I'm like, hold on a second.
I mean, it's worse that Raya accepted it. Yeah, maybe. It's like, no, it wasn't your fault. Like,
literally wasn't your fault. She gave you every reason not to trust her. That is the smart fucking move. And on top of that too, she wasn't going to do the right thing from what it seemed like anyways. Yeah. Right. And so for some reason, she has the moral high ground to look at her and say like, you know what? This is actually your fault because if you would have trusted me, you should have known that I was going to do the right thing, even though I came here to kill you. Yeah, you're so stupid. You're so dumb. I can't believe you didn't trust me, even though I backstabbed you 15 times throughout the whole film.
Yeah. that's fucking manipulating and like projecting bullshit, right?
Yeah.
Like that kind of behavior. But then
This podcast is brought to you by Liquid Death. Have you ever walked into one of your local stores and noticed a random tall boy beer in the water bottle section? Well, it was probably Liquid Death, and it's not beer, you dummies. It's fresh ass spring water. And let me tell you something, I got like 6 cases of this at home, and it's legit the best. And funny enough, I got pulled over yesterday while drinking it because this looks like a beer, but it's water. But joke's on you, jackass. It's just water, baby. And if you're wondering why Liquid Death is called Liquid Death, aside from the fact that you could drink water in front of your friends who drink beer and not get persecuted, they actually are trying to bring death to plastic water bottles. Plastics aren't as recyclable as people think, and the majority of the plastic water bottles you recycle end up in a landfill because it's not profitable to recycle. Aluminum is infinitely recyclable and actually profitable for recycling facilities, so that's why I fuck with Liquid Death. Legit, the sparkling water is one of my favorite. Check this out. Yes, baby. I love it. 2 cases, gone in a week. I drink it all the time. I'm not just saying it. You're seeing it right here. The best. So go to liquiddeath.com/brain to get a free set of koozies with your first order of any case of water. Or you can just grab some at any Whole Foods or 7-Eleven. Make sure you guys cop that Liquid Death, baby.
like then you would address that kind of shit like in some certain way. But no, Raya's like, yeah, you're right.
You're right. It is my fault.
Yeah, and so therefore she doesn't kill her.
Yeah.
And Batman's out of there. Like she keeps disappearing.
Like the whole moral of the story is like, listen, don't trust what everybody has done to you in the past.
Yeah.
People's behaviors don't really show who they really are. Just go ahead and give everybody the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
What kind of fucking moral is that? Like in the whole, it doesn't make any sense.
Like every single reason for her trust issues is valid.
Exactly.
It's completely valid.
She's not wrong.
Yeah, and then the movie and the story keeps steering towards like Raya's wrong. Raya's wrong. Like, no, she's not. Like, she has every reason not to trust any. And she's doing the right thing by getting this shit together.
Yeah.
She's the one with the right goal. But it was like, no, we need to show grace to the worst of us to give them a chance to prove that they can do the right thing. Really?
And like, it's kind of weird because it feels like Sisu and other people are almost like chastising her. Like, why didn't you trust her? It's like, you know why?
Yeah.
You were there for everything.
Nobody trusts anybody.
Yeah.
Like, that's the point. Like, even to this day in our society here in America, or even let's say Southeast Asia, what's the trust like? Right?
Yeah.
Unless you have a country like Singapore where it's like everything's on lock.
I just don't know when they created this film what they expected us to take away from this, right?
Yeah.
And when people say they like a film simply because it's representation, it bothers me so fucking much.
Right.
It's not a reason to say that a film is fucking good just because you saw people's faces on it. Who the fuck cares? It was a terrible film.
Yeah, it wasn't great. Well, you told me that factoid that this movie was made in the pandemic, right?
Yeah.
So 400 artists made it from their homes.
Yeah.
Right. So that means they don't have great team meetings and everyone's is responsible for a scene. And then there was chunks missing in between to fill in like where they're going, where they're headed. Instead, they were like, they filled it in every time they're in the fucking boat eating food to talk about what's going on, what are they feeling, what is happening. And then repeating, oh, I'm a great swimmer. I'm a great swimmer. I'm a great swimmer. Which, by the way, none of those fucking powers that kept coming to her, like, and
oh yeah, when she was shit. I completely forgot about that. Yeah. Like, what was the point of you absorbing those powers? You did nothing with it. What the fuck was that about?
Glowing didn't help them at all. Your fog for some reason wasn't so cool. I don't know. Like, I felt like it was.
I thought she was going to level up every time she received the power, and it was so lackluster.
Yeah,
I was super You know what was very weird too was like, well, actually, this is actually my favorite character was Benedict Wong's character.
Right.
He was so fucking funny, dude.
He made sense, like because of his stereotype, right? That these are big burly men in the mountains with their big axes, right? And when they come across him, then he is exactly that. But then it's showing that he's putting up this facade to hide his trauma because his family is, you know, fucking frozen in stone. That worked. That fucking worked. But the baby?
The baby and the monkeys, dude.
Yeah, it's like, oh, this baby's mom turned to stone and these monkeys are raising him. Let's adopt him.
Yeah. Well, like, why does this child know how to communicate with these primates?
Yeah.
Why? How?
Why? Yeah, it just...
and this baby's like a full-grown adult. Like, is this even a baby? Or is this actually an adult? Is it like that guy Hezbollah? What's it called? The guy from
the little MMA, like 18-year-old?
Yeah, is it Hezbollah? Is that what it is? It makes no sense, man.
Yeah.
And also, too, like for like a small side note, because this film was made in pandemic, I am a lot more forgiving with this, right? I'm just telling you how I felt, you know, despite knowing these facts. They did have to create a majority of this film at home because of the pandemic. And, you know, those communication issues is highly evident in how this film was created. There was actually a very odd scene. If you guys go back and watch the film, when I picture Southeast Asia, I think a lot of colors, a lot of foliage, and one of the scenes that was very lackluster was when they were in the kitchen and they're making tom yum. Yeah. But when you look at the kitchen, the scene is very bare. And that scene too, it didn't look that good. I was like, wait, what? Did they skimp out on the budget in this part?
That's what I'm saying. So like they probably had to do it at their home computers, right? They didn't have those giant render farms and whatever. Possibly. Who knows?
Also too, the voice recordings for the voice actors, all recorded from home.
Course.
It all sounded weird. If you go back and listen to the film, the audio sounds weird. It doesn't sound the character's voice acting sounded very detached because they had to direct them through Zoom calls.
Yeah, of course.
How hard is that shit?
Yeah.
And so when I was the Kelly Tran, her character was really good when she played Raya. I thought her voice acting was really great. Everybody else sounded a little disconnected, and I don't think it's to the fault of the actors or actresses. It's because they were being directed through a Zoom call, and it's super fucking hard.
Apparently, there's like 4 directors on this movie, 8 writers.
Yeah,
that screams that they couldn't get it right.
Yeah, they absolutely couldn't get it right. They had a huge issue with. They wanted to make sure that they weren't being disrespectful to Southeast Asian culture just because of how the climate is, right?
Yeah. And that's that representation thing, right? Yeah.
Exactly. So when it came to clothing, there was the dragon. So this dragon that's represented in this film is a Southeast Asian dragon. There's no wings. And the reason why Raya has to walk on water is because they actually can't fly typically in Southeast Asia.
Right.
So in order to stay true to it, they kind of modified it and they made the dragon walk on water versus having wings and flying because typically Southeast Asian dragons don't do that.
That was a useful power that came in.
Yeah. Towards the end.
Yeah.
You know?
There was like other, like, you know, I don't know if it's just me, but am I the only one that's fucking tired of how we use food as an allegory for us as people?
all the time, dude.
It's always about food kind of thing. And, you know, with Ratatouille, like they did a beautiful job in, you know, breaking apart what food does for us as people and humans. But then this one was more or less like, this represents us, this salty, this here, this here, and it's like we're all different flavors.
Salty, your mom's a bitch. Yeah. Sour because your grandma hates me. I'm the sweet one. I'm the sugar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, even I don't know, like because there's so many cultures amalgamated into one, right? Is that a great representation for Southeast Asians? The same way, you know, when they say Asian American, most people just think East Asian, right? Yeah. And then not only that, just all Chinese. Yeah. Like, where's the Disney movie where it's just all of Europe all mashed together?
True.
No, like Little Mermaid's like German, you know, Frozen is the Scandinavian things. Shit ton of stuff is fucking England, you know?
Well, this is what happens too, right? I think people are forgetting too, by the way, it's like you're so focused on not trying to offend somebody that becomes the main focus of your film. Like you're deterring from the fact that you still have to make a good story. Yeah. And like the representation stuff is fantastic, but don't forget, at the end of the day, you're still creating this art piece. It's still film. It still has to go through the same shit that all other films have to go through in order to create a good final piece. Right. And because of that, because they're mashing all these cultures together, in my personal opinion, and they're trying to do this whole thing where they have 10 different nations, like it's fucking Avatar, right? They're trying to do that within an hour. Avatar had multiple nations. They had to do that over a series of like 4 seasons.
Right.
You tried to do that in about an hour and a half to 2 hours. How the fuck are you going to do that? These characters don't have backstory. So when that ending happened and she was over here telling Raya how to live her life and these people were all getting fucked up, I could care fucking less.
Yeah, I didn't care about anybody in this film.
Yeah.
I didn't care if anybody died or turned into stone or whatever, or if the entire universe just went to shit and it was just run by that purple fart.
Yeah.
You know, like, what, who cares? It doesn't matter.
What is this?
Like,
The purple fart demon?
Yeah. It's so unreal. It's just like, you don't even care if they come out okay. But, you know, Sisu comes back to life for no fucking reason.
Why?
Right. And all the dragons all together because humans finally learned to trust each other.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, at the end, they actually are one giant nation now, right? Except that, hey, weren't you that fucking bitch that tried to kill me?
Yeah.
That old lady who tried to put the fucking Sisu behind the leg. You try to kill people.
Yeah.
Instead, you're just walking and you're going to have your tom yum soup. You know? You're just like, this movie's fucked.
It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Like it showed the worst qualities in human beings, and it didn't like, I just don't understand why Raya was wrong. I don't get why she was the only good person. Despite all the stuff that was happening, she was trying to do the right thing and carry out her father's wish of unifying this country. Yeah. That's the right thing to do. People were continually showing how fucked up of human beings they are. Right. They had no redeeming qualities to show that she should show trust to them. Yeah. Because in reality, why the fuck would you ever give somebody 100% of your trust when they have tried to murder you multiple times? It doesn't make any sense.
Just had a fucking sword fight. Any one of you could have had a limb cut off, and you're like, you know what? Go ahead. Like,
and during, like the crux of the film too, right? Everybody's getting frozen and jacked up, and then she just goes, "All right, I guess it's gotta be you." Here, you take this.
It was like a reverse Guardians of the Galaxy again, right? The purple, the fucking shit flying around. Let's all fucking hold hands, except we all die.
I still want to know who the purple farts are. Who are they?
Yeah, it like, I mean, I keep going to Aladdin with this, because, you know, at least Jafar, you know, or even Steppenwolf. What was the problem with Steppenwolf was originally in the Whedon cut was he's just a big burly guy who's here to destroy shit, and you got to stop him or else the Earth's gone, right? And then so nobody fucking cares about that, right? Yeah. And then when the Zack Snyder cut of Justice League, he's actually he's trying to go home. He's got a purpose. He has a trauma too. He's got his own goal. He doesn't even really give a shit about Earth, you know. But and so there's actually a complexity to it, like their motivation to why they do their things, right? And even Jafar, because simply he wants to be Sultan. He wants to rule the world. He wants power. What do these fucking purple farts want? Where do they come from?
There's no fucking reason.
Yeah.
I want there to be a new cut of Raya where they kind of just break down. I want there to be a 4-hour cut. Yeah. I guarantee you it'll
gotta be better than this.
It has to be better because you'll get to see the different nations. You'll get to see character motivation. And that was the same reason why fucking Zack Snyder's cut was so much better. There were so many, I mean, I don't even think we talked about that, right? Yeah, we were supposed to multiple times. Yeah. But if we could move on to that, what Zack Snyder did in terms of his cut was so much better. Like it took me a while to watch the film because I was like 4 hours. I'm not going to watch this. I go to Hawaii. I have to be in the plane for fucking 5 hours either way. I'm going to watch it. I've now watched the Zack Snyder cut 4 times.
Yeah, dude. Same way, man. I've seen it multiple times. I had to watch it over and over. It's so beautiful.
And you don't even need to watch it in one go. You can watch it chapter by chapter.
Yeah.
Like it's a full series.
Yeah.
It was so fucking good. It actually, I don't even understand why in the Joss Whedon cut, why he cut certain parts out. It doesn't make sense.
All right. Can I be like you one day? It's like, of course. Nope. Cut that shit
out. Why? Why did he cut this shit out? Why did you cut out fucking robots? Well, not robots, Cyborg. Is this
Cyborg, yeah.
Cyborg's whole backstory. In Joss Whedon's cut, I don't know why the fuck he was there.
Yeah. He had almost no purpose. It was like he just turned him into a second-rate Iron Man with like literally nothing to go for.
I think I mean, this was a while back though, but Joss Whedon disliked Zack Snyder's shit.
Yeah.
And he was just adamant about saying, you know what, I could do this better than you. All his shit is bullshit, which clearly wasn't the case.
Yeah.
So I went back and I rewatched Joss Whedon's cut. Dude.
It's a parody film, right?
It's hilarious.
It's a satire.
Even the coloring is weird.
Yeah.
Right?
Everyone's got rosy cheeks.
You know what the dumbest part that was changed that he didn't have to change at all, because for sure they already shot this on the Zack Snyder cut, was when the Amazonians first encountered Steppenwolf, right? He made the women look so fucking weak.
Weak as fuck.
What the fuck was that?
Really fucking weak and lame and just like a satire of strong women, right? But meanwhile, when you watch the Snyder cut, it's fucking 300, with the women, and they're like, they're fucking fearless, and they're going in overpowered with fucking courage. Like it's somehow shown through in his cut. But meanwhile, in the Whedon cut, he's just dropping them like flies. He makes them super weak, like pew. Like,
let me tell you something,
makes them look stupid for using arrows.
Like I very, very rarely talk about sexism, right?
Yeah.
That's some sexist shit.
Yeah. That
shit actually pissed me off. When I saw the Zack Snyder cut, because I haven't seen that cut, the Joss Whedon one, in so long, it was so dope. When Steppenwolf came in and he was like, I smell fear. It's like, what the fuck you talking about, bitch? We don't have fear. And they start banging on their shields, right?
Yeah.
And one of the coolest moments in that film is when they decided that, you know what, in order for us to just push for justice and do the right thing, we're going to sacrifice ourselves.
Yeah.
And they decide to take out that whole fucking building and the whole mountainside in order for them to do the right thing.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
Yeah.
So cut to Joss Whedon. They just closed the door.
And they just rushed it, like, get out of here.
They're like, okay, we're just going to close this door and then see what happens.
No stakes.
There's no stakes.
Like despair for the fact that hundreds of her people just died.
Yeah.
Just gave up their lives to fight this. And then the despair when Steppenwolf is still alive, like that kind of emotion is run through in his version. But in the Whedon cut, if you go back and watch, it's a really weird rush CGI job. He busts through the wall and he starts chasing them.
But it's just like the solution was what? Like this guy just transported himself from another fucking dimension, and then this stone wall is going to stop him.
Yeah.
Like that's how stupid the Amazonians are. They're just like, close the door, see what happens, see if he gets out, let's see.
Yeah, exactly. So I did my own research too, is just be like, how could you do this on purpose?
Yeah.
Right. And all the stories on set was like Joss Whedon was being a super fucking asshole on set, like talking shit about Zack Snyder and how he saw Zack Snyder's version and it's fucking bullshit, right? But here's the thing with these Joss Whedon reshoots, right, on set. These are all the same people who made the version you just saw, and you're talking shit to the people who made it.
That's fucking
He's
hilarious.
The only new guy there. And that was the problem that the actor Ray Fisher was complaining about Joss Whedon. It was just like, he was crazy unprofessional and he was a fucking racist,
Oh, really?
So it's like, not only did he take away Cyborg's story and his whole background and his motivations and all that, he actually cut out almost every other black actor in the film.
Oh, for real?
With Cyborg, yeah. And in the meantime, he was just like, he kept taking away Wonder Woman's goddessness, just being a fucking god amongst men, and just kind of weakened her, like made her look like a fucking satire of herself, with these stupid jokes. He pulled off the same fucking joke he did in Age of Ultron, where a dude falls in a girl's breast, right? The Hulk, Bruce Banner falls on Black Widow's boobs, right? Mm-hmm. For some fucking reason, he brings it back where Flash falls on Wonder Woman's boobs, and Gal Gadot actually refused to do it, so much that had a stunt double do it for her.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
It's just like, why? Why? I see, now that makes sense, because that Amazonian scene was probably one of my favorite scenes in the fucking film.
Yeah.
Just because it was just so cool to see how they just didn't give a fuck. They're like, dude, we're Amazonian warriors and we're going to show you what's up, even though they knew they were overpowered. And it's kind of weird too. Like when the bank scene too, right? He cut out half the fight scene.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
He cut out like, well, and he added a dumb part too, where you won't see in the Zack Snyder version, but then in the Joss Whedon cut, someone hits her in the back of the head with his gun stock.
Oh yeah,
and it doesn't phase her, right? But dude, you have fucking bullets. Yeah, you haven't. If you were that close, just fucking point that shit and brow, right? Yeah. I don't know, and like I said, he just nerfed them, just made them look like parodies of themselves, made them look like fools.
The Flash scene.
Oh, when he goes in the speed at that very end. Why would you cut that out?
I have no fucking idea,
dude. I was like almost crying when I first saw that. I was like, holy fucking shit. And like why he was doing it, why he had to do it, and like his pain through it, and like how he's thinking of his dad as he's doing it. And even that line, like I felt like that was like that was so fucking beautiful. And he's like, nope, all this needs to go.
I mean, at this point, is he just doing it just to say, fuck you, Zack Snyder? Because that's like the only reason why I could imagine why somebody would look at something that's better than his and go, you know what? I'm just going to ruin this.
Yeah. It's like, fuck you, Zack Snyder. Fuck you, women. And fuck black people. That's the message I get every time I see the Joss Whedon version.
And you know what's crazy too? Just the idea of what he did to Cyborg's character. And kind of like how the purpose of his father was so different in the Zack Snyder cut.
Right.
The Zack Snyder cut was so much better. It made sense.
Yeah.
It fucking made sense. Like it made sense why his dad was doing what he was doing. And it also made you feel for his character a lot more too. Yeah. Because before it was just like, he was just
like, I hate you, Dad.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Dad.
He was just estranged with his father. There was no fucking resolution.
Yeah. So in Whedon cut, then why go save your dad after he gets kidnapped, right? And there's a difference where despite his like his anger or whatever, he's going to do the right thing for his father and save him. And like I think I saw it on a YouTube, like, oh, the differences between the Whedon cut and the Snyder cut, where when Steppenwolf's about to kill his father, Cyborg's father, like it becomes like, oh, I can't control my body.
Yeah.
And it automatically saves him, right? Because his body wants to. But in Zack Snyder's cut, he's like, he freaks the fuck out. He goes, no!
Yeah.
Bam! And blasts him. Like, that means so much more. Same fight where, Flash kind of is like, I don't really fight anybody. And then Batman goes, save one person. Right? That's all it takes, one at a time. But then in the Zack Snyder version, he's just fucking saving everybody. He's just fucking doing it because it's in their fucking characters. The difference with the Justice League and the Avengers, right, is the idea that these are gods amongst men. Like when shit goes down and the Justice League shows up, the Avengers would fucking skedaddle like cockroaches compared to these people. But nope, just nerf them, make them look like fools. Make Batman tell stupid ass one-liner jokes. You know?
Oh, dude, the jokes were so stupid, man. They were so stupid and out of place. And also, too, here's one scene that really didn't make any sense after I went back was when the whole idea of Steppenwolf in that film, which, by the way, Joss Whedon, Steppenwolf is just there for no reason.
Yeah,
he just showed up. He goes, I'm just here to kick ass.
Where's my mom? No, my mother. Where's mother?
That's really what it is, right? But Steppenwolf's whole thing is that the reason why he's the man in charge is because this guy has no sense of fear. That's why he can control all these little fucking bugs or whatever the fuck they are, these little demon bugs. There was a very odd scene. And Flash, before he went into the building, right, he said, I'm so fucking scared. Well, I thought these things can smell fear.
Yeah, they know you're right outside.
He's literally 5 feet away. What the fuck are you talking about? That made no sense. Why would you put that in there? That it literally doesn't make sense to the characters. It doesn't make sense to why Steppenwolf is so dope or why those monsters even attack people. They literally feed off of fear.
Right.
And he said, I'm so fucking scared. I'm scared shitless. He's like, as far as like I am to this damn door. You know? But for some, and to even top that off, the ending was so stupid. Steppenwolf is scared, so the bugs start eating him.
Yeah, and you don't really that's it. No, not that like fucking Superman beat the fucking shit out of him, you know? It's just, he's scared, like, and they take him away.
That's it.
That's it. It took like 5 of you guys to actually take care of this guy.
Yeah.
but you're actually all scared of him. I don't know.
So they didn't even really defeat him. He defeated himself. How
Yeah.
stupid is that? How fucking dumb is that shit? The Zack Snyder cut, he got an axe, he got a sword to the fucking head, got chopped off, and it rolled right in front of Darkseid's face. Amazing.
Right. And even the fact that they fucking fail.
Mhm.
They fail first because whether their teamwork wasn't right or whatever, like the fucking weight of the urgency and all that shit, like what it takes, it really brings into mode like Flash's character and like his fucking true power, like that, the potential that we could see like with what he does, which leads into the Flashpoint paradox, his solo movie, which is going to be fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Well, at least the original story and the animated movie is. But now I just like don't trust it because they're not going to continue the Snyderverse. They're going to keep going with as if Joss Whedon's movie is the canon.
I can't, but Zack Snyder doesn't want to continue the film anymore.
I think he does. I mean, that's why he left it open-ended to have like, where they have these flashes of the future of what's going to, like it's the Injustice future. Have you played that game?
I haven't played the game, but just watching the snippet at the end, I had to go ahead and look it up and see what the fuck was going on because it was insane.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck just happened?
So fucking, well, spoilers if you want to talk about it, like something where it's like the Joker tricks Superman into killing Lois Lane. And that's when Superman, and that explains Man of Steel, Batman v Superman, like where he just has this struggle of like wanting to be this hero for the world or whatever. And so when that happens, Superman's just like, fuck it then. I'm going to be your God. I'm the king of the world. Listen, do what I fucking say and we'll have peace, you know, and he rules the earth. Now that's fucking interesting, you know? And then no, Warner Bros. Like, nah, let's get rid of that. Henry Cavill's not Superman anymore. But, you know, Ben Affleck apparently is not going to be Batman anymore. All this stuff. They're just like, they have this inconsistent like storyline, this inconsistent universe. Like X-Men is crazy inconsistent.
You know what irritated me about Flash is that he went through all the trouble to travel back in time and he had to say the most cryptic message to Batman. He was like, Lois Lane is the key. Why couldn't you have said something that was more understandable? You fucking asshole. She's like, she's the key. He's like, what? Lois Lane's the key. He disappeared.
Am I too soon? Yeah. So like that whole part was the Injustice future.
Doesn't happen, right?
Well, it does. It does happen.
He's doing that to warn him about it, though, right?
Because things are going to get so fucked up. He has to go back in time to try to save Lois Lane, but he goes way too far back or early or something. Yeah, he's not at the right time, and so he fucks up basically. And that's all part of the story that could have unfolded. Like, but I don't know. Maybe it's because audiences did complain about Batman v Superman. It's not superb, you know, but it's still within the canon, the consistency of where he's trying to take it, at least. But
it is weird because I felt that when I was younger, right, I remember we had our superhero films, right? We had the original Superman film, which with what's his
Christopher
name?
Reeves.
With Christopher Reeves, which was really cool at the time. Yeah. But because of technology, we get to see some of the most amazing comic book superhero films of all time, right? And in my mind, I was thinking to myself, no matter how bad these films are, I'm still going to like it because of how cool it looks compared to the other stuff. Yeah. And you know, in that vein, I still do enjoy it because I was never able to see these things outside of what my imagination told me when I read comic books. Right. So when I see these films and when they disappoint me, I get a little mad. I'm like, you know, it's already laid out for you. The story's already laid out for you. What are you doing, dude?
Like, isn't that why you have comic books? Because you already have like a skeleton like, of it. Instead, you're just, it won't translate to screen. We got to make it dumber. Yeah. Does it have to be that?
It really doesn't, though. Like Batman versus Superman could have been a really good film.
You know what the one thing could have saved the movie? If when Batman had him against the ropes, had that kryptonite spear to his face, he says, like, you're not a human, right? Yeah. It's like, you were never you're not a man. You were never even human, right? So he's ready to kill him. And then what does he say? Save Martha, right?
Yeah.
And that's everyone's fucking problem.
What do you mean? Why does it like that?
I'm like, dude, if Superman was just there and he says, you're not a man, you weren't even human, and he goes, save my mom.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, if he's pleading for his mom, that instantly humanizes him. Instead, save Martha. Like, who the fuck is Martha?
Yeah.
Dude, why not just...
And who the fuck calls their mom Martha by the first name, dude? You jackass. Makes no sense. How do you know that name?
Yeah.
Where are you go? Oh, Martha.
I mean, if his mom had a much more like unique name, you know, then I guess it's like, what the fuck? Like,
yeah.
You
that
know,
name's the name of my mom.
Yeah.
So how do you That's what stops you, you jackass? Is the fact that your mom shares the same name? What the fuck does that mean?
And everyone's got a problem with that. It just doesn't translate at all. Like, how does that make you a human Batman? Like,
it was just so stupid too. I think like also the Batman character too, I think he's just a really rich guy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
look at all the billionaires in the world now. None of them are anything near Bruce Wayne or Tony Stark.
I know.
They're not about going out there and actually making the world better.
Yeah, you just have Elon Musk just fucking with crypto all day.
Yeah. Just being a troll.
That's what we have. This guy just fucking with like the crypto market and just pumping up Doge. That's what we have.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like Batman's character was always a little odd for me. Like he's just this neurotic billionaire. Right? He's just scared all the time. He's just fucking people shit up. And he refuses to kill people because why? Because that's not what good guys do.
Because guns killed my parents, so I shouldn't do. But he has no problem torturing people to get what he wants.
It's so
breaks people's fingers and shit.
So there's actually this superhero series on Netflix that kind of dives into this concept. I mean, the show is very whatever, right? But it's basically these superheroes who gain their power through some kind of ancient thing or whatever, right? And this is like during like the early 1950s or some shit or whatever, 1940s. And so now there's new superheroes that are involved. Well, this new generation of superheroes are irritated or upset at this old generation because they set the rules that you cannot kill. It doesn't matter. Us killing makes us the bad guys, right?
Right.
However, what's happening is that because they won't kill these inherently terrible humans, they have no reason or want to change. They're just bad people. These are just supervillains, right? They're killing constantly. And their objective is to kill people. And they're like, well, why can't we just kill them? Their objective is to kill everybody on Earth. They're very selfish. They're killing people. We should just kill them. It'll solve problems. And so they're watching their friends die. And that is a very good question. Yeah. It's like, if you had an ability to stop these human beings or these creatures or whatever, these supervillains, why not fucking do it?
Well, that was the crux of Batman v Superman, though, was everyone was complaining that Batman was killing in that movie because he was fucking, he was using guns and killing, right? And I think so that Superman had a problem with Batman enacting his own justice and being judge, jury, executioner. Like when he would brand prisoners, that means a death sentence once you get into prison. Like they'll shank you kind of thing. And so Superman's trying to get us to stop that. And that's in the ultimate cut. That actually expands. That's the reason why they're beefing in the first place. It kind of gets lost. And so what ended up happening was that people were just complaining that Batman was killing. But that was the problem. First, that's part of the story. It kind of stems like coming out from, you've seen Watchmen, Zack Snyder's version. So I love Watchmen too. And if you when's the last time you've seen it?
It's been a long time.
You got to see it again. I fucking love it because especially the original comic, it's kind of basing off the fact of like superheroes were real in this reality, right? How would they actually behave? Like, why would they dress up in the first place? You know, why would they have to team up in these things? So there's the character Dr. Manhattan, right? He's supposed to represent Superman, right? If there was a real Superman here and he had this crazy power, right? He wouldn't give a fuck about us. Yeah. You know, he would just lose his humanity if he was a god amongst men. He'd just get tired of us and our bullshit. You know, and he'd just fucking leave the Mars. Yeah. You know, And then 3 other characters represent Batman. You know, Rorschach is the great detective, right? The guy on the street. Like, if there was really a guy like that, he'd be homeless, he'd be crazy, he'd have massive trauma in his head, he'd torture people. That's a fucked up guy, right? And then there's Batman, the engineering genius. He's Night Owl, right? He's a fucking nerd. He can't get laid.
Yeah.
He can't get his dick up. He's just kind of squirmy, you know, until he's like angry or some shit. I don't know. And then there's the other split with Ozymandias, right? The billionaire. What Bruce Wayne, what would he really be? Like this gay, flamboyant, super smart capitalist in order to fund all this shit.
Yeah.
You know? And that's, I think Zack Snyder was taking those philosophies and then bringing it into this Zack Snyder universe. Like Batman would be this way because this. Superman would have a struggle between wanting to save humanity at all, because why the fuck would he care about us?
Yeah.
You know, that's what I love about where he was taking it. And it's just sad to see they're just cutting it. It's over.
And that's kind of what that cartoon Invincible touches on, right?
Yes.
It's where, well, the backstory that he tells his kid is essentially kind of what Kal-El's parents are telling him. Is like, well, you have a responsibility to help these people. This is why you're here.
Yeah.
Even though the real reason is that his fucking planet exploded and he got shot out into fucking outer space and he landed some random place.
Yeah.
Which is really what it is, right? So I don't even know how the Superman story became to where his parents were like, you have to be the savior. I don't really get that part. But and that's the story that in the Invincible cartoon, if you guys don't know, there's this comic book series that kind of, it's really dark. It's very fucking dark, right? And it talks about just kind of what people do when they have a certain level of omnipotence. They rule with an iron fucking fist.
Yeah.
You do what we fucking tell you because we know better. You're not, who the fuck are you? You're ants.
Yeah. Why wouldn't Superman be authoritarian?
Yeah.
You know, to be like, you guys are fucking idiots and you guys are fucking shit up. I have all the power in the world. If you don't listen to me, I will fuck you up too.
Yeah.
Right. Like
that, and you know, with the whole Invincible thing, that's how he treats them. The main character, spoiler alert, if you guys haven't seen this, you guys should watch. You can see it on Amazon Prime, right? But this guy who is a superhero, he kind of tells his kid, essentially, he's going to get powers too when he becomes an adult. But in the meantime, he's gathering all these other superheroes and he's actually seen as a beacon of light. Like, people think he's a really good guy. Well, in the very first episode, I almost threw up because he literally fucking gathers all these top superheroes and kills them. And throughout the whole series, you're basically finding out the reason why. And the reason why is because he's actually sent to Earth, not as a savior, but to subjugate them.
Yes.
Right? Because these people really believe in their omnipotence. They are the ones that know better. We are gods. Yeah. And the way that he expends human life in this fucking series is ridiculous, dude. Right. Literally, there's a point where he grabs his son who also has crazy powers just like him, puts him in front of a train and has the train smash into his son.
Just guts.
And then because his son is like Superman, basically rips into a bunch of people throughout the train. And you just see guts and blood everywhere. Yeah. Just to tell his son, this is how insignificant human life is compared to you. Their life disappears in a matter of what, a span of 70, 80 years. You will be here for the next 2,000 years.
Yeah. And like, how it's not that far-fetched to believe somebody like that. I mean, like, just look at how America tries to spread democracy.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
We drop bombs. And all of a sudden, now we run your government, right? Yeah. Like, people with power, you know, would want those resources and all these things. But what is he also trying to explain too? He's like, we're going to bring our technology to you. You guys will live way longer lifespans and you will have...
You'll be happier.
You'll be happy. You will actually have real peace and none of this bullshit. We just have to let this happen first. Yeah. We got to take over. Right?
Colonialism.
Yeah.
We know better. Hey, this is Jesus Christ. You know Jesus Christ?
He said, if you don't believe in Jesus, we kill you.
You keep praying to Pyre and an eagle face guy.
Yeah.
It doesn't exist. It's a good Jesus Christ. That's the crazy thing.
Imagine.
It's really what it is. It's about like colonialism. It's like, I know better. This is my God. And if you don't fucking believe me, you're going to fucking die, you piece of shit.
Yeah. And it's part of like this fucking dark side of human behavior that we do to control others.
That's why I love these alternate comic book series, right? Because I think whoever created these past superheroes before, it kind of just, it was rooted in fantasy.
Yeah.
Right? There aren't any real consequences for people.
Black and white. He's bad because he's bad. They're good because they're just good, you know?
And the good people will always win.
Yeah.
But then, you know, real human beings are very complex. There's a reason why everybody does something, right? There's a reason why we have to empathize with other people. And that's how great movies are told.
Yeah.
You know, villains, for the sake of being a fucking villain, doesn't really create a great villain, doesn't create a great antagonist.
Yeah.
I.e. going back to Zack Snyder's cut in Steppenwolf. He had a reason why he was such a fucking jackass. He just wants to go home.
Yeah.
And he has to prove himself to Darkseid that he deserves to come back like for the mistakes that he made.
Major debt owed. Yeah. And so it's on his fucking back that he's got to, that's why he doesn't give a shit about the earth. He just wants to get home. This was a means to an end. That
right there, if I could just take one thing from Zack Snyder's cut, I would at least put that in. Then it would have just made more sense.
Yeah.
Because there was no reason for Steppenwolf to be the way that he was.
Right.
He's just, I'm here to fuck you up. In the Whedon cut. It was so stupid. It made no sense for Joss Whedon to take that part out.
Yeah.
No sense at all. What the fuck was he thinking?
Yeah, even like, I don't know if he was just trying to make it less violent, maybe. Like, and just campy, you know? The fact that she fucking destroys that that terrorist dude, like just straight blasts him through the wall.
Yeah.
You know, like took that out. Like, I guess it was too violent or whatever. I don't know. Or just to nerf, you know, Wonder Woman. And then following that is when that girl's like, can I be like you one day or whatever? Cut that out.
Yeah. Something that kind of shows that she's a deity, that she's a god. Yeah. You know, it shows how dope she is.
Yeah.
She kind of gives hope to people that that's her position. She's Wonder Woman.
We need them. We need her. Like we need these superheroes to help us. Like that just gets taken out then.
And then they also took out the reason why Wonder Woman happens to know this whole backstory to Steppenwolf. They took that whole part out. In the original cut, she just knows everything. You know, she goes, I know why he's here. I was like, how do you know? I fucking know. You don't know this shit. I fucking know. The reason why he's like, we got to do this before it's too late. It's already too late. Well, how do you know? Because I fucking know. That's why.
Hurry up. Get with the program.
Get with the program. Hurry up. We got to collect these people already. Yeah. Come on, let's do this.
And like, because of that bunch, like the fucking mother box get taken off screen. You know, when they revive Superman and he comes back and then the boom tube comes down and then he goes away. He took the box. Like, why the fuck weren't you taking care of it? Like, it's like, wasn't that the huge MacGuffin for you? Like, whatever. And then but then in the Snyder cut, it's like an extra 20, 30 minutes of them fighting over and his Cyborg's dad's sacrifice. And the exact reason why, you know, he did what he did, because it was like, this motherfucker's going to take it. He has to burn it up so it at least sends out this signal, And then now Cyborg has this next level motivation for why he has to see this through. You know, like, he just cut all that shit out.
I will never, Joss Whedon, you could suck my fucking nuts, dude. I hate you. I hate you so much. Well, I mean, just because of when you hear all the stories about why he did it, it was just to be spiteful, just to be a fucking asshole, dude.
Just being an asshole, straight up.
Dude, I read that Zack Snyder, one of the bigger reasons why he decided to leave was because of his daughter, right? His daughter committed suicide.
Yes.
How fucking terrible is that? And I guess because when you work with such a major franchise, you know, it's pretty stressful. You're not just there to make a film, you're there to make them fucking money, right? So you have to go through a lot of red tape. You have to go ahead. It goes through a lot of people's hands. And so, you know, Zack Snyder as a creator wants to create something amazing. It's going to have to be longer than 2 hours to make the story make sense. And, you know, after the passing of his adopted daughter, he was just like, what the fuck am I stressing out about this shit for? Fuck this. You know, like, I just lost my daughter. I don't want to deal with this bullshit. Whatever. Fuck it.
Apparently he stayed on for like 2 more months trying to finish it.
Wow.
Just putting his head down to work until they were just like, until he was just like, he just kind of gave it up. But so one of the stories is that he never saw it, the Whedon cut. Zack Snyder's never seen it. You know, like, so when he went in to finish his movie, it was just, I'm just finishing it. This was his vision from the start, you know, and it was because Christopher Nolan saw it saw the Whedon cut apparently. And when he got out, he immediately phoned Zack and he's like, "You can't watch this. Don't watch it."
He's like, "You're gonna be pissed."
Yeah, pretty much. Him and his wife, Deborah Snyder, is the producers of all his movies. She even told him like, "Don't watch it. Like, don't watch it." I mean, that sucks because it's her daughter too, and she's had to see it through. But part of the job is to see it go through, and like to watch that in the end. Holy shit! It would have been so fucking offensive, you know.
That's crazy. I felt so bad for the dude, man. It's like this movie comes out that he works super hard on. It turns out to be trash, right? Because it got butchered. He loses his daughter, and then he has to figure out what's important to him. He goes, "Dog, my family's suffering right now. Fuck this film, dude." That's the hardest part, man. We actually know somebody right now who was asked to, was like in the first round of being asked to direct Shang-Chi. Right. And he decided not to do it because he was like, "Yo, the fuck? This is an Asian character with a stick." He's like, can we get a real super fucking hero? He was so upset because when I was asking him, I was like, "Dude, why didn't you fucking take it?" He goes like, "Well, number one, like I've never worked with a film this type of budget, and number two, who the fuck is this guy? Like, who is this guy?" Right? Dog, I was laughing so hard when I saw the action figure that came out for Shang-Chi.
Yeah,
it just looks it's just an Asian dude with a stick.
Oh, great.
Bro, it's actually kind of hilarious. Honestly, if you would have just took the stick and you would have put a broom at the end of it would have made more sense.
I wonder what little kids are gonna do with that little. You know, they're probably gonna put a magnifying glass to it. Just what good is he?
You know what it is? He's gonna be Donatello in fucking Ninja Turtles. Nobody wanted Donatello. Everybody had a dope fucking weapon, and then Donatello has purple and he has a stick. Fuck this guy over so bad. And they did that with the Shang-Chi character. Like this action figure is Simu Liu with the stick. It's like, what the fuck, man?
That's another thing too. Like, am I getting tired? Like the same way with us being an allegory to food. Like, do we have too much kung fu associated with everything we do? Yeah. You know, I don't know. I'm kind of getting over it. But then, and that's what I'm afraid of with Shang-Chi. Like, I have no expectations. I'm not going to say it's our version of Black Panther yet, you know.
Oh, I got to tell you, I saw that trailer. It's not going to be our version of Black Panther. if the trailer is indicative of how good a film is supposed to be, and they started off with this fool and his hand hitting a fucking pole, it's like, that's the best opening you could give us for our superhero, you fuck faces.
Disappointed father, you know, again, and... Yeah, there's a lot of tropes, but I'm assuming because Marvel does like to do things out of left field, like their trailers don't actually say anything about the movies, which is great. Then I would have to expect that they're going to like destroy those expectations.
Yeah.
Like, hopefully, I really do. Like, we wanted to win, you know? But we've been burned so much.
And every major Asian film, not every, I'm being extremely hyperbolic right here, but I think it's because we just expect us to always do kung fu and martial arts. Listen, I'm not mad at that shit, right? Yeah. Like if we're doing martial arts film, damn straight it should be us. That's something that we originated in. Like that's what we created. We created martial arts. That's fucking dope. But I've seen it so many fucking times. I don't know how many times I could watch it over and over again. Yeah. I have my classics.
It's kind of like, how much breakdancing can I watch? When I watch Battle of the Year back in the day, you know, by the time you get towards the end, it's like, how many more windmills and flares can I see? I know. Maybe it's like that, you know, unless they got fucking, I don't know if they got Donnie Yen or Jackie Chan or Yuan Mo Ping like to be the choreographer. Do something dope. Do something we haven't seen, or do something we haven't seen since Crouching Tiger.
Oh, it's just gonna, you know? Or maybe they'll just do it like Mulan, where just Jet Li doesn't do shit. I didn't even know it was Jet Li.
With his dubbed voice.
With his dubbed fucking voice, and then Donnie Yen is just this one fight scene.
And it just shows us how well he handles swords.
Apparently in that film too, the fight choreographer was telling Donnie Yen what to do. He goes, "This is terrible." He just does his own thing.
Yeah, of course.
Which it looks like that. He just does his own thing. Yeah. And it was probably the best fight choreography in the film.
Right. But the problem being with Mulan was that when you have this choreography, the cinematography and editing has to go with it. There's a Hong Kong style. There's this wuxia style of filming and editing, you know, this stuff. So I really hope that it's going to come out clear, not like the fucking super close up, shaky cam, cut with every hit.
And like you have to, that's the thing too. Like you do that for people who don't know how to fight. They're not well versed in fight choreography. Great example of that is what it was. Well, Jason Statham can apparently actually fight, but that style, I saw it the most in every Jason Statham film.
The transporter stuff.
Yeah, the fucking quick whips and everything else. And it masked all the movement.
Yeah.
Which when it comes to the wuxia style, you actually get to see the choreography from a wide angle.
Right.
That's the beauty of it, right?
There's a fucking rhythm and with the music too. And it's a wide, long shot and like ba ba da ba ba da ba ba da ba. And then you see American Jackie Chan films, it's cut, and the edit is the pace.
Exactly.
You know, it's not like a theater kind of show where you're seeing a choreographed dance, but it's martial arts. And that's what Crouching Tiger is more or less like, which is why it's so beautiful. These wide shots. And you see it's them, it's Michelle Yeoh and who's that girl?
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
But
yeah.
Zhang Ji.
Yeah, there you go.
Or Zi Zhang.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's them. They are classically trained like in choreography and dance, and that's how they treated it when they had their fight scene. It's fucking awesome too. Yeah.
Yeah. Till this day, I don't think there will ever be another martial arts film as beautiful as Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. And I heard Ang Lee was asked to direct Mulan, and he was like, nah.
Nah. Yeah. Because he would know. He would know. He's like, this is just CCP bullshit, dude.
Yeah. He's like, I'm not doing this shit, dude. Yeah. I refuse. Which, man, if he did Mulan, could you imagine how dope that shit would have been?
It would have been fucking awesome. But at the same time, you know, China would have banned it.
Yeah.
They would have banned it.
When I watched Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, I always refer back to that scene where they were chasing each other on the roof.
Yeah.
It was just so beautiful. It was very poetic. Everything in that film, the choreography was like, it was like watching dance choreography.
Yeah. Like they're flying on top of trees, right? It's like, okay. But then there was a rhyme and reason, like, and there was a beauty to it. Like everything, like having purpose instead of just on the script, it says, and now they fight.
Yeah.
Fight scene.
That shit was so good, dude.
Yeah.
Well, guys, that wraps up this episode of the Genius Brain Podcast. We went over the Zack Snyder cut. I know I shat on Raya pretty fucking hard. If you like the film, let us know what you absolutely loved about it. Try to do it without saying, you represented me. Let's talk about why you like the film, huh?
Yeah.
And once again, if you like it, it's all good, dude. I hate you. All right. But you can catch Ed at Ed Park VP and everything at Park VP, actually.
Yeah.
Right? And then every Thursdays and Sundays, we'll catch you guys next time.
Bye. Peace.